So, if you would, let's jump right into Scripture this morning and turn with me to let's go to John chapter 19, verse 26. John chapter 19, verse 26. If you're in Learning the Ropes, that's on page 827. John chapter 19, verse 26 reads, "When Jesus saw his mother standing there beside the disciple he loved, he said to her, 'Dear woman, here is your son.' And he said to the disciple, 'Here is your mother.' And from then on, this disciple took her into his home." This takes place as Jesus is being crucified on the cross. He looks down and he sees his mother. And he sees the one disciple that he loves so much in John that he says, "Take care of my mom. Treat her like she's your mom. Mom, let him stand in and take my place as your son." So as the weight of the world, the weight of all of our sins is on Jesus' body, on his shoulders as he's hanging from that cross, what does he do? One last thing to make sure that his mom is taken care of. One last thing to show his mother how much he loved her by making sure that she's taken care of in his absence. We tend to take our moms for granted, don't we? We tend to overlook all of the things that they do simply because we're focused on one or two things that they don't do. We take it for granted. We don't always say, "We love you, Mom." We don't always give her the hugs and the kisses that she needs. Today I want to try to expound on Jesus' love. And guys, I'm kind of talking to you here on this first point. When I say love your mom verbally, I think every man in here is or knows of another man that says, "I don't have to say I love you. She knows I love you. She knows I love her. I don't have to say it all the time." Men, you probably get that way with your wives as well. "Well, I don't have to say I love you. She knows I love you. I do things for her. I help her out. She knows I love her. I don't have to say it all the time." Let me tell you something. Women, in general, need to hear those three words: "I love you." It's not, each own, sister. It's not, men, it doesn't make you less of a man to say "I love you." It makes you more of a man when you can say it. Don't fall into the trap that has been set forth from years ago and just steamrolled right on ahead, that it makes you less of a man if you show love, or you show tenderness, if you show affection. Men don't cry. Well, that's a bunch of horsehooey. I'm pretty sure I'm a man, and you've seen me cry up here several Sundays in a row. Okay? I have no problem showing my affection, showing my feelings. But yet, I don't always tell my wife I love her. I get caught up in the same trap. She doesn't know this, and I'm going to tell on myself. There's this thing on your smartphone called a calendar. Don't fall for it. It's all right. It's nothing bad. It's nothing bad. There's this thing on your smartphone called the calendar, and you can set appointments on that calendar. A couple of years back, I set a reminder on my calendar for every morning to send her a short email at work, tell her I love her, tell her something sweet, tell her something nice. And I did that for a while, didn't I? Then I got caught up in it. I got drugged back down again, guys. And I lost focus, even with the calendar reminder popping up on the phone every morning. Don't fall into the trap. tell your wives, your moms, that you love them. That will mean more to them than a bouquet of flowers. That will mean more to them than taking them to lunch this afternoon. It'll mean more to them than a diamond necklace. Well, I don't know. We'll just stop at the die. We'll stop right there. I guarantee you, if you say he went to Jared, you might be all right. So verbally, tell your mother that you love her. I found a story. There's lots of good stories in the Dear Abby columns. If you guys can ever take the time to read those, I did a history search on Dear Abby, and I found this one that struck me pretty hard. It says, "Dear Abby, I enlisted shortly after Pearl Harbor. 36 days later, I was on my way to the Philippines. En route, the Philippines fell to the Japanese, and we were rerouted to Australia. 11 days after we landed, I met the most beautiful girl in the world. On our very first date, I told her I was going to marry her, and I did just that 18 months later while on a 10-day R&R from New Guinea. After more than 57 years of marriage and 2 children, my beloved Mary died 5 days before Christmas. Although we agreed that our ashes were to be scattered over the mountains, I found I could not part with hers. While Mary was alive, she would frequently tell me, you don't know how much I love you. I'd reply likewise. I never said, I love you too. Now her ashes are on my dresser where I tell her several times a day how much I love her, but it's too late. Although I wrote in poetry to her, I could not bring myself to say the 3 words that she wanted to hear the most. As my dearest Mary was dying and we thought she was comatose, I told her there aren't enough words to tell you how much I love you. A few hours later, she whispered, not enough words, and died. The reason I'm writing is to urge men to express their feelings while their loved ones are alive. I don't know why, but men are reluctant to express the depth of their feelings. Signed, Missing Mary in Colorado. You never know when time is going to stop for you. You do know that time is short. You do recognize that. We all do. But we don't always take the appropriate steps to make sure that our loved ones know that they are loved with the time that we have. So verbally tell your mom, verbally tell your wife those 3 words, men. I love you. I love you to the moon and back. Whatever you need to use to show your affection, I love you goes a very long way. Second one is going to be love her physically. When's the last time you just gave your mom a hug? Just out of the blue. No cause for it. You weren't at a funeral. You weren't at a wedding. You just wanted to hug your mom. When's the last time you gave her a peck on the cheek? Just because. When I say love her physically, let's stop and think for just a second how much contact our moms had with us. From the time of conception, we were wrapped in her womb. When we were born, her first instinct was to let me hold my baby. As you grew older, she cleaned your dirty bottom. She taught you how to blow your nose, and she held the Kleenex for you. She wiped your face. She cleaned up your messes. And she even did the all-dreaded to get that last smudge of dirt or get that cowlick to lay down. Everybody hated that as a kid, but she did it. She was always touching you. Always touching you. Your mom was always in contact with you physically. And though we grow older and we leave the house, we leave the nest, mom has to give us up to college or to a wife or whatever the circumstance may be, mom still needs that contact. She still longs for that physical contact. Give her a hug. Squeeze her. Remember when you were a kid and your mom would bend down when she came and picked you up from school, or when she came home and you were already there, and she'd run, and you'd run, and you wrapped your arms around her, and she could stand up. She wouldn't even have to hold on to you. You were just clinging, and she could walk around the house because you were just bear hugging her so tight. How many of you would? Oh, gotta get Kleenex? My bad, sorry. Sorry. How many of you remember your mom saying, "Give me a sugar," and you'd run up and you'd give her a big old kiss on the mouth, just cotton candy, drooling, whatever, and she'd thank you for that kiss. She'd thank you for that slobbery mess that you just put on her face. Of course, as soon as you turned around, she's like, "Oh God." But she thanks you for that physical touch, for that kiss, for that hug. So love your moms physically. Don't forget, just because you're a big old boy now, that she still needs that. You were the very first, she was the very first thing that touched you in her womb. That bond never goes away. That bond is never broken. You may not have the best friendship in the world with your mom. You may not have the best relationship in the world with your mom, but she still loves you. She still loves you, and she wants to see the very best for you, and she will go without so that you can have. Okay? Don't forget those little hugs. Don't forget those little sugars. She may not appreciate the sloppy ones today. Okay, the older you get, the sloppy ones may get you a smack or something. I don't know, but just don't forget that, okay? Number 3 is love her patiently. What do you mean by that? What do you mean by patiently? Men, here we go again, okay? I'm going to kind of pick on the middle a little bit. There's this, I don't know, there's just this idea, okay? And I'm not pointing fingers, and I'm not cheering for this. I'm just saying, there's this idea out there that moms don't have a job. Okay? Men, don't ever, please, don't ever go up and ask a woman, "Well, do you work or do you stay home?" Because the only thing you can ask her that's worse than that is, when are you due, when you're not 100% sure she's pregnant? Okay? Don't ask those type of questions, because being a mom is a full-time job. And I guess when I was a kid, things started changing to where women were starting to have to get out of the workplace. I can remember early on in my life, my mom was always home. Breakfast was ready before she woke me up. She had my clothes ready. She had me dressed. She'd take me to school. My lunch was made. We'd get home from school and snack would be ready, and then she'd be cooking dinner while I was watching cartoons or playing outside. And then when my dad got home, she had his after work stuff laid out ready for him so he could get in the shower and get ready for dinner. And then somewhere along the way, women started having to go to work. Real jobs. See? Real jobs. You see what I'm saying? A bunch of women just frowned at me. And I said that on purpose, because that's the way the world looks at being a mother. It's not a real job. But let's think about getting up early, before anybody else, getting breakfast started. Probably putting on a load of clothes while the bacon's frying or the sausage is going or whatever. Okay? Now it's time to start waking everybody up that hadn't already been affected by the smell of bacon in the house. The coffee pot's going. Your clothes are laid out. She reminds you 10 times to go brush your teeth, wash your hair, comb your hair. Go put your clothes on. It's time. The bus will be here in 5 seconds. Go put your clothes on. You're going to miss the bus. All the while trying to get your dad or his lunch made for work. Finally, everybody's out of the house. Mom can take a break, right? 'Cause it's not a real job. She can kick back and watch The Price is Right. It's almost 10 o'clock. Now we watch The Price is Right. Now there's dishes to be done in the kitchen because we made a mess doing breakfast. There's clothes thrown everywhere because you didn't see what she had laid out for you on your bed, so you pulled open every dresser drawer you had and started chunking stuff till you found something. Your bed didn't get made. You spit toothpaste all over the mirror because you were in a hurry. You got a big hairball sitting at the bottom of the sink because you pulled a bunch of your hair out when you were brushing your hair. I'm just talking out loud. I'm not pointing fingers. But it's not a job. It's not a real job. All these things go on while the men are out in the workplace. And then the day comes where women have to get in there and they have to start doing their share because the economy has gone to pot and you can't afford to live on one salary, so now you got to have two. But all the same stuff that was going on before she had a job is still somehow getting done. Granted, there may be some things that are split up in the house. Kids now have a chore list, and Dad has to help out a little bit more. But Mom, she's like what do they call the person that leads the three-ring circus? The ringmaster. She's the ringmaster of the whole thing. And you think about it, that's a pretty good analogy. Home life and the three-ring circus. At least at my house, anyway. There's constantly dogs jumping through hoops at my house. But anyway, I do have a lot of clowns. Thank you, David, for noticing that. So anyway, patiently love your mom. You have no idea, unless you've been a mom, you have no idea what it's like to be a mom. You have no idea the stress, the deadlines, the PTA meetings, the homework. There are things that moms just worry about that men don't. Okay? Men come in and they see the house is a mess, they probably gripe about the mess. But they don't think about the fact that Mom has been arguing with Junior for the last 2 hours before you got home from work to get his daggum homework done. Or fighting because he didn't take out the trash off his chore list and now it's falling all over the kitchen and the dogs are eating it or whatever. We don't see what goes on behind the scenes. But we have to be patient. We have to give our love no matter what the circumstance. Have you ever come home and seen your mom in the middle of the bathroom floor, makeup running all over the white with the black polka dot looking towel that was back in the day, just makeup all over the white towel, all dripping down the side of the ceramic bathtub. She looks like her hair's been pulled in 14 different directions. Have you ever seen that? Have you ever just gone and said, Mom, are you okay? And she just look at you and say, Jesse died on One Life to Live. That actually happened. I don't know who Jesse is, or if he was on One Life to Live. That's the only names I could come up with at the heat of the moment. That actually happened in my house. I'll never forget the day Elvis Presley died. I was out in the front yard playing, and my mom came walking outside with a little radio in her hand, and she set it on the wooden chair that we had out in the front yard. She just boo-hooed. I had no idea why. I started boo-hooing. So here we are standing in the front yard hugging each other, boo-hooing, wailing, and finally somebody comes on the radio after they got to playing an Elvis song and said Elvis had passed away. So it's little things like that. You have to be patient with your mom. You have no idea why she's stressed out. You have no idea knowing that Jesse died. You don't even know who Jesse is because you don't watch My Life to Live. You watch The Guy in Life. True fact on that one too. I quit watching that a long time ago, Lewis, so that's up to God to judge me, not y'all. Another thing that I want to get to my teens right quick. Teenagers. How fair is it for you to love your friends and your friends' moms more than you love your mom? How many times have you acted out to your own mother when in the same circumstance you're nice and loving to your friend's mom? Put a little insight in you teenagers. If your friend's mom knew how you acted to your mom, you would no longer be associated with their children. You would no longer be welcome in their home. So teenagers, respect. I believe the Bible tells you to honor thy mother and honor thy father. Okay? That doesn't mean, I don't have to say I love you. She knows it. I can step on her feelings. She's got to love me. She gave birth to me. Don't get it twisted, kids. Bill Cosby used to say, I brought you into this world, I'll take you out. And I'm pretty sure there's some of these mamas out here that be willing to do that. Because y'all getting real close to the very last nerve. The very last nerve. And y'all have no idea what that's putting your daddies through. But this is Mother's Day, I regret. There was a science teacher. I think it was 4th grade. 4th grade science teacher gave a quiz, and they had been learning about magnets all week long. I get the exact quote so I don't mess it up. Where did I put it? Well, we may have to skip that. Now I've got you curious, I know. Okay, here we go. An elementary science class has been studying magnets and how metal objects are attracted to them. At the end of the semester, the teacher put on the exam this question. 6 letters starting with M. Picks up things, what am I? Half of the class wrote mother. Starts with M and picks up things. Mother, they knew it. They didn't even have to, even though they've been studying about magnets all week long, all semester long, the answer to that question was mother. So we remember mom subconsciously all the time. But do we verbalize? Do we show our physical love? Do we love patiently? Do we love with endurance? You know, moms are getting older. Time doesn't stop. Time doesn't wait. Moms are getting older. We're all getting older. Our love has to be filled with endurance. You know, there was a time when you would come home from school and you would spill the beans to your mom about how Betty Lou likes Johnny Sue and you like Johnny Sue and now y'all aren't friends, and it's, you know, you go to your mom, you don't go to your dad, because your dad's going to say, suck it up, find somebody else. Dads aren't soft and tender. Remember we talked about that early on. I think Mr. Smith had that conversation with one of his daughters. Several times. The point is, now that they're getting older, they may have problems. You know, they're dealing with chronic illnesses and sicknesses and have to take their medications and remembering to take their medications. You have to be patient. You have to be patient with your love. They're going to forget things. All right? That's why when you go into your mom's pantry now and you open it up, there's a bunch of Tupperware dishes that say bread and cereal. And that's another thing that I deal with. But anyway, you know, they forget things, so they label the bread. Nothing else in the cabinet looks like bread, but they've got the bread labeled as bread so they don't forget that that's bread. That's where the bread goes. God forbid Dad mess up and take the bread out and put the Oreos in the bread thing. Things are going to happen, you know. But you have to be patient. Your love has to endure. What you got, Mr. Smith?
Don't go there. Don't go there.
All right. Yeah. La 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 la. If you like pina coladas, they get caught in the rain. Ladies, Mr. Smith doesn't run very fast, so y'all can catch him on the way out. Cole, can you go grab the kids for me? Moms, we've got a little surprise for you today, and we like, once all the kiddos get over here, we want all the moms to stand up, and we'll pass out our little goodies from the kids at Saltgrass Cowboy Church. Men, all I can tell you is love your wives, love your moms, teenagers. Try to treat your mom with the same respect you treat your friends' moms. Things would be so much easier. Things would be so much better. And remember that this all started with Jesus and Mary. Men, Jesus showed us how we're supposed to love our moms the day he was crucified. He loved her so much that he's hanging from that cross with the sins of the world on his shoulders. And he wanted to make sure his mama was taken care of when he was gone. So take care of your mamas while you have the chance, man. Take care of your mamas now. Show them that love. Here comes our kiddos now. Hey, buddy! I guess if we could go ahead and get all the moms to stand up.